It's been almost a month since the Western Nebraska jail correction officer was killed on the job. I'm Jasmine Thompson. Coming up, I'll show you what guards here in the Metro are doing to make sure the same thing doesn't happen here.
And I'm Matt Everson. You've probably heard about Alexander Payne's film, Nebraska, showcasing the Cornhusker State on the silver screen. Later, find out about a local grassroots film that's being shot and produced right here in Omaha. The Omaha News starts right now.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
It happened in Scottsbluff, Nebraska last month. A 15-year-old youth detention inmate strangled inmate guard Amanda Baker, and it could have happened here. But what precautions are being taken here to ensure the safety of all detention centers are being met?
There are protocols that I think every facility puts in place to try to prevent those things from happening.
15-year-old Dylan Karlolak was charged in February for first-degree murder and assault of Scottsbluff Youth Detention Center guard Amanda Baker. Karlolak allegedly lured Baker into entering his cell and then strangled her. But what kinds of safety measures does DCYC take to make sure something like this doesn't happen here in Omaha?
Our policy is that staff do not open the doors overnight by themselves. If they're in a situation where they must open a door, certainly a supervisor would be notified, and there would be more than one person present when we open the door. Last thing you want to do is to see anyone, whether it be kids or staff, get hurt. So,
the Douglas County Youth Center has 10 living units with ages ranging up to 19. Their crimes include murder, assault, burglary, and more.
All of our staff members are equipped with a radio. That radio has an alert button. That alert button can be pushed anytime they have a situation where they need help. If they need help, responding staff, it puts a call out into the control room and it goes out to everyone else's radio, and help will arrive shortly.
Technology plays a big role in keeping everyone safe. The Douglas County Youth Center is equipped with 86 cameras for constant surveillance of the grounds.
Omaha Mayor Jean Stothert has announced her pick for Omaha Fire Chief. Bernie Kanger takes over permanently as Fire Chief after serving as interim chief for 6 months. Previous Chief Mike McDonnell went on administrative leave in August, leaving Kanger to handle daily operations as well as intense negotiations with the city over budget issues. Mayor Stothert cites Kanger's performance in taxing situations such as the International Nutrition Plant explosion earlier this year as her reason for the pick. Kanger beat out 3 other finalists for the job.
Guilty. Tuesday, a jury convicted the babysitter in the death of 4-month-old Cash Bell. 25-year-old Sarah Cullen was found guilty of intentional child abuse resulting in the death of the infant. Recordings of the statement that Cullen made were played during the trial. Jurors heard Cullen's story change several times before finally admitting the nanny dropped the boy down the stairs while trying to give him medicine. It wasn't until later, she said, that the boy was starting to show signs of injury. Cash Bell died of severe skull fractures last March. Cullen will be sentenced in May, and she faces 20 years to life in prison.
Red carpets, flashing lights, and models. Omaha Fashion Week just wrapped up, but give it a designer's chance to showcase their latest fashions here in the Metro. Community members gathered in Midtown at the Omar Building to show their support. Producers, designers, hairstylists, and musicians worked together to put on several shows, complete with a 72-foot runway. With over 1,000 people working together to make it happen, it's become a huge event.
Omaha Fashion Week has positioned the city as a regional leader in fashion, surpassing cities like Minneapolis, Denver, and Kansas City. The city's next fashion show will be this fall. And one of the Metro's hospitals is receiving some national recognition as well. U.S. News and World Reports ranked the University of Nebraska Medical Center in the top 10 for graduate school programs in the country.
UNMC ranked the 6th best primary care medical program and was also ranked a top rural medicine program. Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Dell Davies, says the rankings are a reflection of UNMC's priority to expand access to health care in rural Nebraska.
Mental illness is something many here and around the country constantly battle with. A musical at the Omaha Community Playhouse is bringing awareness with a powerful story. Omaha News reporter Paige Jones takes us there.
Who's to say what the definition of normal, especially in this day and age, is? You know, everybody's got their faults and their dysfunctions.
The musical, called Next to Normal, put on by the Omaha Community Playhouse, showcases a family that is anything but ordinary.
I played Diana Goodman. She is a bipolar, manic-depressive woman.
The play illustrates the ups and downs of a family dealing with the mental illness of a loved one. The actors did in-depth research on bipolar disease and learned the important impact the musical could make.
For a musical, this is a very real and raw portrayal of what it's like to be affected by it.
The raw emotions of the play are reflected in the music.
You know, when there's a manic episode, maybe there's, it's more like all up in your face, and then the depressive side's more legato.
Child and adolescent psychiatrist Dr. Howard Liu saw power in the play.
Both the painful elements and also the triumphant moments. It's quite moving. If we're all honest, mental illness touches all of our families. I hope that viewers would want to talk about it. If they recognize that there's an issue, that they go seek help.
Like the line says in the show, we live with what's real. If pain is the price to pay, then that's what we pay to be able to feel something.
For the Omaha News, I'm Paige Jones.
Next to Normal runs through March 16th at the Omaha Community Playhouse.
Coming up on the Omaha News, hear from the actors of a local film being shot here in Omaha that is hoping to make the big screen.
But after the break, we'll be joined by Nikita Williams, who looks into the difficulties newlyweds face when they choose to marry at such a young age. We'll be back after this.
PBS is the place you should go first.
There are no advertisers to be satisfied, only an audience to be satisfied.
We take our responsibility as journalists very seriously. We are constantly thinking about our viewers and what they care about.
We want to let you know what the information is, and then you decide what you want to think.
At the News Hour, we are after the facts and only the facts.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
UNO-TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city, or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO-TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Welcome back to the Omaha News. These days, young married couples are rare to find. Many agree that their 20s are reserved for finishing college, getting a job, or just enjoying being a young person. However, that hasn't stopped some from saying, I do. Reporter Nikita Williams has more in the newsroom. Nikita?
Thanks, Matt. Marriage can be hard enough when you're mature in age and under the same roof. But what are some of the strains of a young and long-distance marriage?
We just know that we're always going to be okay.
Statistics have shown that young adults are waiting to marry, but that hasn't stopped some from going against the grain. 20-year-old college student Latera and 22-year-old soldier Antarius Daniels are one of those couples. Married just 6 months ago, Latera says the long distance has been tough, but they make it work.
He sends me gifts, flowers, chocolates, cards, and letters. It's the little things that count that remind me of how much he loves me.
Daniels says while her husband's job provides financial stability for the two, she knows that others in her situation are not as fortunate.
I know we'd probably make 2 or 3 jobs each or something, so I couldn't even imagine. I know that would cause more arguments. I know that would be more hostility between the relationship, so it would be more power to those people that make it work.
But why are other young couples waiting to tie the knot? Well, data dating back to 2013 suggests that 50% of marriages end in divorce, 60 of them being young adults between the ages of 20 and 25.
However, UNO Department of Social Work Director Dr. Amanda Duffy Randall says while she wouldn't pay attention to statistics too much, she definitely sees the difficulty in marrying young.
Marrying later is no guarantee that your marriage is going to be more successful, but I think it's challenging when you're younger.
Randall says if you're ready to take that step, go for it.
For younger people that have been together for a long time, that know that this is the person they want, and I have at it.
Now, some question whether or not you can be too young to wed. According to relationship advice website twoofus.org, it can actually be healthy to have more than one relationship in your life. They also say to work towards your goals and to discuss children prior to getting married. Jasmine, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Nikita. Students in the central Nebraska town of Rural got an unexpected day off today from school. The decision to not hold classes at rural public schools came after a so-called hit list was mailed to the city last week. Both students and teachers were named in this hit list, prompting officials to close school and hold a meeting for parents. Many parents were upset over the way the school handled the report. Some parents say they didn't find out about the list until Sunday, while others heard about it before the weekend, prompting some to keep their children home Friday. School will resume today, but the new rules and regulations are in place. No longer will schools have open campus policy, and the students will also have their backpacks searched.
It's been more than 4 days since Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 vanished off the coast somewhere between Malaysia and Vietnam, and still few questions have been answered. The families of 239 people on board the flight have been told to expect the worst. More than 1,000 people and more than 70 planes and ships have been combing the South China Sea for any signs of the missing Boeing 777. Officials now say the plane was way off course and heading in the wrong direction when it disappeared from radar screens. Questions of terrorism have also been raised, but leads have not led to result in much.
And even though you're on the other side of the world, you can help in the search for the missing flight. The Colorado firm Digital Globe has posted thousands of satellite photos online, taken 400 miles above the ocean where the plane presumably went missing. Now Good Samaritans are volunteering their time to scour those pictures, looking for any sign of the plane. Those volunteers are asked to tag anything deemed to relate to an aircraft. There's over 1,200 square miles to search, a daunting task for anyone. The photos are so detailed that they can clearly depict objects as small as a dinner plate floating in the ocean. If you'd like to help out with the search, go to digitalglobe.com.
When the Omaha News returns, we'll be joined live with Omaha News reporter Paige Jones. She is going to sit down with one Omaha organization looking to help curb the violence and bullying problem the city of Omaha faces.
The Omaha News will return after this. Stay with us.
KVNO was in a really interesting place. This Victorian mansion near UNO.
3 floors. The studios were on the 3rd floor.
Bedrooms and bathrooms. So we had a challenge, but we ultimately ended up with an on-air studio.
We soundproofed it with carpet, and actually I think it sounded really warm, very radio friendly.
There were also rumors that the 3rd floor was haunted. Those were the maid's chambers, as we were told.
I had a sink in the office and leaded glass windows which looked out on the stable house in the back.
One colleague talking about having the window open one day, a warm spring or fall day, and a squirrel jumping through the window onto a turntable.
It was a great place, a great ambiance for a fine arts station.
It definitely had a charm to it.
About how you're feeling right now. One thing you would like our viewers to know about this state.
The importance of volunteerism.
What are you saying to folks?
I'm here to discuss these images.
When you can take that knowledge and that expertise and that passion in terms that they're all going to understand.
They need to know the real stories.
I'm Kathy Wyatt. Join us for Consider This each week on NET1.
NET Television expands your mind, enlightens your mind, inspires your mind, educates your mind, entertains your mind. NET Television opens up new worlds to you. Explore, travel, learn, discuss, debate. NET Television keeps you informed. Music, theater, dance, art, news. NET Television awakens your dreams, seeks to serve, strengthens our communities. We are Nebraskans. We are NET Television, Nebraska's PBS station.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Back to the Omaha News. The fight for respect and justice for all people may be never ending. There is an organization that strives to confront the inequalities in Omaha. Omaha News reporter Paige Jones joins us now with more on inclusive communities.
Thanks, Jasmine. I'm here with Matt Worth to discuss how Inclusive Communities has been working to make Omaha more accepting of diversity. Thanks, Matt, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So in a nutshell, what is Inclusive Communities?
Inclusive Communities is a human relations organization. We focus on issues of bigotry and discrimination through some educational programs. We do a lot of workshops, a lot of retreats, and a lot of one-day programs.
And what is your role in that?
My role with Inclusive Communities is as a facilitator, and I also do some of the training programs for the counselors that are coming into the organization.
So what does it mean to be a facilitator?
To be a facilitator means you have to be pretty comfortable with the programming that we're doing and have a good knowledge base of the work that we do. You will be up in front of the people, kind of running the programs, prompting them through the activities, but also kind of facilitating them through the dialogue necessary to kind of get to the same page so that we can, get through those workshops and help people to learn the things we want them to learn.
What type of programs do you offer at Inclusive Communities?
Well, one of our main programs is a residential program. It's a 4-day program. We pull high schools from the metro area, but also we're extending out and we're starting to pull high schools in from Todd County, which is in South Dakota. It's a reservation area. And we take them out to a retreat center. Currently we use Carol Joy Halling out in Ashland, Nebraska. And we'll run programming with them for 4 days, kind of just confronting issues of just heterosexism, ableism, racism, really anything and everything we're willing to take on.
What do you feel like people a part of these groups are gaining from being in these programs?
I feel as though what the people are gaining is a realization that this is something that we can actually help now. It's change that we can see now in our organizations. There are a lot of things that occur out there where you're hoping that you're going to make a difference for future generations, but with this, we're seeing, thanks to social media, we can come home and look on Facebook and see that these students are going back to their schools, they're starting new organizations in their own schools, they're recruiting students to come back and come through our programming just because they know how good the programming makes them feel and they want other people to experience that too.
Very cool. What is Inclusive Communities, what have they done so far in Omaha and outside of Omaha?
Within Omaha, I can guarantee that not only have we made high schools a more accepting place just for students of every cultural background, but we're also just seeing the effects of just them changing courses for their futures. We're seeing students coming out of high school going in and going to college for degrees in social work and degrees in speech communication and things that allow them to better themselves as communicators, because they're understanding how important language is and how language really fuels our society and shapes our beliefs and the way that we treat each other. And then outside of the community, the program that we run is actually run around the country by brother and sister organizations as well. And so they're doing a lot of the same similar work, and I can't help but to think that our organization is influencing some of the changes that we're beginning to see around our country, with people becoming more accepting of LGBTQ, the marriage policies changing around the country. I would like to think that we're at least making waves and helping out with those changes.
How can other people get involved, and how did you get involved in inclusive communities?
I was roped into inclusive communities in high school, actually. I went through one of their residential programs as a delegate, and immediately the philosophy I've always had on life is that I want to do the greatest good. And I've been working with inclusive communities for 8 years, and I can honestly say that this is the greatest good that I've ever found, and it's the best use that I feel I can spend my time doing. And so I signed a volunteer application immediately out of high school and started coming back as a volunteer, and I've just kind of moved on up from there and taking on different roles and things of that nature. And for other people, inclusive-communities.org is the website to go to, so you can get yourself signed up as a volunteer. Also, if you like our Facebook page, you can become a lot more integrated into some of the activities that we do and see what our work looks like.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Matt.
Absolutely.
And to learn more about inclusive communities, visit inclusive-communities.org.
Up next, we'll show you the efforts local filmmakers are involved in to make a local independent film. You'll probably even recognize some of the shooting locations as well. That's next when the Omaha News continues.
To go above.
It was something new.
Or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside.
There's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
It would seem almost impossible. Or push the limit.
Large tornado! It's humongous! We need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there. We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders. A place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Welcome back. A group of theater actors, comedians, and filmmakers are in the midst of producing the independent film Bent Over Neil. Exarban Cinema, Jake's Bar, and Lake Manawa are just a few locations setting the scene for the film set to debut this October.
And it's one of those things where when doors open for you, you know your project's right.
Actors volunteer their talents alongside local businesses donating their venues to make shooting Bent Over Neil a truly collaborative labor of love.
When we first started filming, it was a lot of Derek and I, our scenes, and then as we've gone on, there's more people involved, more extras involved, and which is great because every single time we do a shoot with more people, you know, the number of likes go up in the fan page, and people are talking about it and tweeting about it and all that.
The film experienced a major setback in February when a lead actress left her role. Thankfully, social media provided a quick resolution.
And of course, we're like, oh no, what do? We sent out a thing on Facebook and said, hey, we're looking for a new actress. And by that weekend, I think it was like just 2 days later, we had seen a few actresses and had cast the new one.
The film is inspired by a project from both actors' past.
And it was a two-person play written by a local playwright, Jeff Steinblock. I started seeing potential for it to be a full-length film rather than a play. After having left it for a while, came back to it. We talked to Jeff about possibly making it into a full-length film. We talked to him about some of our ideas.
The creators of Bent Over Kneel aspire to be one of the few local filmmakers represented at the Omaha Film Festival next year. The 2014 event just wrapped up at the Village Point Cinema.
And we will start fundraising with Kickstarter to help with that, because we want to send it out as many film festivals and get as much exposure with it to see how far it can go.
A concert event featuring bands who donated music for the soundtrack will be a feature the week of the premiere. You can track the production and receive updates to the film's page on Facebook.
A Dundee Art Gallery opened their 777 show this week. The Dundee Art Gallery featured 7 artists, 6 of them from Omaha, at the show. The gallery celebrated its 7th anniversary this Friday. The 7 artists, chosen by Dundee Gallery owner Jean Emery, have all provided artwork for the gallery since its opening.
Get READY. The 85th annual Omaha World Herald Midwest Spelling Bee is taking place this Saturday. The bee brings together 75 students from Nebraska and western Iowa who have already won local spelling bees to qualify. The winner of this spelling bee will then head to Washington, D.C. to compete at the Scripps National Spelling Bee in May. This year's competition has spellers ranging from 5th through 8th grade. The competition begins at 8:30 a.m. Saturday at OPS's TAC building at 3230 Birch Street in Omaha.
That does it for this edition of the Omaha News. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with all new stories from our reporters.
From all of us here, good night.
To work in a real studio. Working on the TV crew, students get hands-on experience with lights, camera, and action. Working on a variety of shows gives students a leg up looking for jobs. In fact, many former crew members work at local stations. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for students to learn the science and art of TV production. UNO TV, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
When will you look deep into space? When will you travel back in time? When will you experience the power of red? When? Anytime. Online at video.netnebraska.org. Search, select, and share with the NET Video Player. Watch our shows on your schedule.
What if there were a neighborhood where every child felt they belonged, and a big dog helped them stay little a little longer? A monkey helped them find the wonder in every little thing, and a flightless bird showed them how to soar. Support the people and programs that never stop asking.